Hello, this is Steve Aul, the Aul Financial Group. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for being here again today. April the 6th of 2022, not far away from tax day. If you haven't thought about that, tax returns are due on or before, April the 18th. They are given a couple extra days since that 16th falls on a Saturday. That is also the date in which your taxes are due. You can't extend it past that, but the taxes would be due at that point. So I am going to go ahead and say stop the share. And I'm going to say thank you to everybody that is with us. I want to thank you for all the referrals and things that have been given to us over the year. The company has had continued growth, and it's because of people referring their family and friends. We just want to thank you for being a part of the family. And I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else kick it off today. I'll talk about the markets when I come back to the call later. And let's go ahead and do it this way, Deanna. I'm not going to throw any curveballs at you today. Let's just go ahead and let Deanna go first today.
I was ready for you because there's a pattern to this, ladies first thing in our town hall. So I'm happy to oblige. Let me share my screen. As most of you know, those of you who've been with us for a while, a large part of our practice is in retirement income planning. And I found this piece on understanding a little bit of the complexities of how we go about doing that. And it falls on the heels. It was the same author, this David Macchia, that you see up here in this left-hand corner. He is the same journalist who wrote the article indicting Ken Fisher about annuities. So I like this guy. You've heard me before talk about him on our town hall. And he recently spoke about the changing landscape, really, on what it takes to design an income in retirement and the different variables that we are taking into account. We often get asked, well, how much is enough? Well, how much does your lifestyle cost, and what are your income sources that you have going into retirement? We can have two people, same age, same net worth, and two vastly different outcomes based on how much their lifestyle is costing them and where their different income sources are coming from. So I wanted to just share some of the visuals. I'm a visual person, so when I found his presentation on this, I had to share it. So I'm going to skip ahead on this underfunding portion and talk about it is not the amount of money that you saved, it's what you need to spend in retirement that determines how we might go about structuring a plan for you to create that income stream. This was the piece. Understanding these principles in retirement, it's your income. It is not your wealth that creates your standard of living. It's how much cash flow you have. What's your income? And that income, the variables that impact that income are what we want to talk about. But this quote was fabulous, and it's from an economist and Nobel laureate, Robert Merton. Remember that. It's about cash flow, not what your net worth is. Here is an important piece that we've talked about before. The income producing capacity of money changes all the time. And you have to assume that it will change again when you're in retirement. It may change more than once. Here's an example. CDs. When our parents retired, they could create an income ladder with CDs. Retirees today cannot create an income stream using CDs. So that's just one example and what he's referring to. We're going to call him Fred, retired in 2000 at 65. He has $1 million. He wants safety, so he doesn't want any investment risk at all. And at the time, he could get a 6-month CD that paid him 6.91%. And so he had a monthly income off of his $1 million of $5,756. Well, what happens at age 79? He's still risk averse. He's still in his CDs, but his CDs are only paying a fraction of a percent. Wait a minute. He can only get $232 in monthly income off of $1 million. Is that right? That's what we're talking about. Environments change, interest rates change. Here's another variable that you throw in it. Taxes change. Show which pocket you're pulling it out of. Is that dollar that you need to spend, are you pulling that out of a tax-free bucket, a tax-deferred bucket? Are you paying full income taxation on that based on income tax thresholds? And are those going to change? Or is it based on capital gains? So the dollar that you need to spend, which bucket are you going to pull it out of, will determine how you can allocate and structure those funds. I thought it was very interesting. Here's another one. When the 6-month CDs went down to even lower, his income was reduced to $75. That CD ladder wasn't working very well. So it doesn't matter that he has $1 million. It matters on the income producing capacity of the tools that you're using for your income needs. That was a 99.9% pay cut. I'm sure he was not happy. So his wealth never changed, but the income capacity, the income producing capacity of his money is what changed. So again, we're going to repeat it. It's your income. It's not your wealth that creates your standard of living. And it will change all the time. It's going to change throughout retirement. So we want to look for opportunities to be able to sustain the income that you need in retirement. And we want to do that in a way that also accounts for your risk, your comfort level with risk. And there are some tools that we can use besides CDs to be able to produce the income stream that you're looking for. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you, Miss Deanna. We really appreciate the update on that. As it comes from that, I've always heard Mel say there are only 3 things that are important in retirement, and that's income, income, and income. So I will go ahead and turn the next portion of the town hall over to Mel.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. And I don't have any slides or articles to share with you because Deanna didn't give me any. It's her job to research all of these articles and stuff out there, as you can well see. But I do have a very interesting topic, and I'm going to give full credit to someone who is considering becoming a client of ours. I'll even use her real name, Joe. No, we told her we wouldn't use her real name, but Bob and Sally were in, and she said something that resonated with me. And it's something that we've actually taught and talked about a lot when people are looking at planning. And there's a difference in planning and investing. Those are 2 different things. You invest once you have a plan. Okay, it makes it, and creating that income that Deanna was talking about, and having the assets to create the income, or what kind of income, all that's important. But what she said really hit home to me, because we talk to people all the time about, should I buy the car or finance it? Should I pay off the house early? Should I do this or that, or use my retirement assets now to help my children? Or we hear these stories day in and day out about how people plan to use their assets. And what she said that really, really hit home with me was, you can finance a car. You can finance a house. You can finance a vacation. You can finance an education. You can't finance retirement. You can't borrow your way into retirement. Now, perhaps you can use the equity value in your house, okay? But primarily, you're either going to have the Social Security pension or other income sources, or investments to create the income in order to have the retirement you're looking for. If not, then you have to live on less. We're looking at a particular situation today where we think a particular person that we're analyzing is spending more money than they really should or they can afford to, unless they plan on running out of money at a very relatively young age of, say, mid 70s, 74, 75. The issue is you can spend the extra money and there will still be the Social Security and the pension, but the lifestyle is running this much. And once you run out of assets, your lifestyle is now going to have to run this much. It literally cut by half. And yeah, you might be able to do that, but it's going to be, as Deanna pointed out, that's right about the time when you might actually need to spend more money on health and able to do less for yourself. And you need a better income, not cutting it by half. So understanding that when you're making a decision about using a dollar of your saved assets, using the right dollar in the right order, or using someone else's money to fund some of those things that you're doing now so you can fund your retirement in the future, you really have to look at it as an exercise in math. And there's all these emotional decisions that we make about, I want this house and that house and two houses. I hear a lot of reasons why people are doing things or why they want to do things a certain way. And a lot of times it's just a thought process or an emotion that they want to carry on. I have a plan of action, but I don't really have a true plan to get there. And I just wanted to wind it up with, when it comes time to use a dollar, one of the things that we spend a great deal of time with our clients is which dollar in right order, how's the taxes going to be affected, and how's that going to affect me 10, 15 years down the road? And that has nothing to do with whether you're in CDs or laddered bonds or stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. That has to do with having an income plan or structure to make sure you can have that lifestyle that will be funded by a repeatable income. That's mine for today.
All right, so I thank you, Mel. Thank you, Deanna, on that. Let's go back. We've had some events this year. We've had the Girls and Guns events, which have been very well attended. We did a Top Golf event for the men about a month or two ago. Next Wednesday, April the 13th, we do have a tomahawk throw. I will be honest, I have never thrown a tomahawk in my entire life, but I look forward to doing it, and we still do have a few seats left for that. So if you're like me and have never done it, but it's something we can get together and have a little fun while we do it, please give us a call, ask for Megan here in the office, and sign up for the tomahawk throw. Bring your wife. I don't know on the age for kids, so I'm not going to put that out in there. I don't know if they let little guys throw tomahawks or not, but we'll just put it. If you'd like to bring kids, give us a call. Let us find out. I'll let Megan find out that information. But I do want to go ahead and mention the fact that we do have the tomahawk throw.
I will tell you that Chris and Diamond and I did go and do it. So teenagers are welcome. I know that.
Oh, great. So should we go from there? Thank you very much, Mel. See, he's done it before. I'm just going along because it's something that I probably would not sign up to do. And if you're in that capacity, come join us and let us go from there. I started out with, okay, we only have till April the 18th for taxes. What else is due at that time? If you can make contributions to either a traditional or a Roth IRA, they can be done all the way up to that April 18th date. You can file for an extension. That extension will take your taxes out until October the 19th for your tax return. The taxes are still considered due on April the 18th. If you have to make estimated tax payments, that payment also has to be mailed on or before April the 18th also. So those are kind of the dates that we hit here in April that we need to look at. One of the things that we are doing, we will be interviewing candidates for taxes. Our goal is to have somebody for the 2022 tax returns that they would be able to assist us in our fiduciary responsibility by doing tax returns for our clients. So that's one of the things that we are looking at. We will come back with that. Again, the goal in that is to have that in place for the 2022 tax returns, not the ones that we'd be filing in the next 10 to 15 days. Another update that we've talked about getting legal documents, simple legal documents. Basically, I love you wills and I love you trust that we give our clients the availability to do that at a discounted rate. We've got a few people in the beta process right now. We want to see how the system works before we open it up to everybody. I'm going to say I have a goal of about May the 15th for that date to be to the point where those that want assistance in getting wills, trust, powers of attorney, simple, not complex. You know, if you're going to disinherit a child, we're not going to be able to help you. You will have to go to an attorney for that, but more of the simple things that come in from there. And then the last couple of days been a little volatility in the market, if everybody will agree with that. The NASDAQ has taken a bigger hit than the S&P 500 and the Dow. Why is this all coming about? Well, the notes from the last Fed meeting came out, and they're talking about they almost think it might be necessary to have a 0.5 point movement in the treasury rates in the month of May. So those treasury rates last year bottomed out about 1.6. They're now at about 2.6 now. So those are the things that we have to look at. And it does seem to hit the technology stocks a little bit harder than some of the other stocks. The idea that we have to look at treasury rates going up are advantageous when we start to look at annuities. The insurance companies have more money to work with when those bonds go up. The problem of it is if you've already got bonds or bond mutual funds within a portfolio, it can drag it down. That's why we have talked to almost everybody about what can we do for bond replacements. How do we replace these bonds? Because over the next 3 to 5 years, we believe that interest rates will continue to increase. And if that happens, bond values will fall. Remember the teeter-totter. They're opposite of each other. So if you're in that condition right now, returns are being brought down a little bit because of the fixed income portion in a lot of people's portfolios. So we've been talking about this with people with reviews. If you're a client that's listened to this and hasn't been in for a review, Megan's called you and you say, don't worry about it at this time. Please take the time, come back in and sit down, we'll talk with us so we can look at some of the strategies that we're currently implementing when we're in a volatile market and we've got what we tend to have increasing interest rates. Please come in, sit down and talk with us. One other thing that I want to say is I'm a firm believer if you've got a goal or an intention and you want to increase your desire to get that goal, I have signed back up for the St. Jude Half Marathon in December. Now, I severed the Achilles tendon about 2 years ago, but my goal is to be back in there again. And I know if I don't put it out for you all, so when you guys come in and do that appointment or you do that review, ask me how I'm doing. Because I remember when I said it the first time with Jennifer on the radio, it was like January and right after New Year's resolutions. I said, I would like to run a marathon before I'm 60. 3 months later, Jennifer asked me, how you doing with that marathon training? I said, I'm doing so well right now. I haven't even started yet. But I knew her continuing to challenge me around it got me through the St. Louis Marathon and the Chicago Marathon. So I'm going to sit here and say, I give you guys permission to ask me how I'm doing in training for that half marathon in Memphis for the kids at St. Jude. So again, I would like to thank everybody for everything that you've done with this. Business is growing. I mean, you look at it, we had 4 or 5 employees last year. Now we're up to 7 to 8. We're looking to expand in the area of taxes. And that's because of you, our clients. And I just want to thank you for being a part of the family.